Hello, everybody. This is Professor Omid Adam Sindhi, and we're going to be talking about the introduction to cryptography. In this video, we're going to do an overview of the course itself, kind of run through some of the stuff about the syllabus and just good things to know. Let me go on. Cool. So yes, so agenda, we're going to be talking about me, just kind of give you a quick introduction of who I am and where I've been and kind of my time at NEIU. Then we'll jump into the basics of the syllabus, talk about some deliverables, and then some good things to know. So that is me right there. So a little bit about me. I've taught a couple courses so far here at NEIU. I've taught cryptography. This course, I've taught it in a 10-week frame. So this is going to be the first time I do it in a 16 week. So you'll see some videos that are kind of alluding to week one, week two, week three, but just for clarity, when I release it during the time period, just understand it's within that range. So you may have a video that says week two, but we're sitting in week four. So these are just recordings that I've done in the past that I think that are still very valuable within the world of cryptography. So you'll catch a little bit of that here and there in this course. And then I've taught also project management here, CS399. And then I've taught CS411, professional computing. And then this semester, I'll be teaching another course, CS343, Introduction to Natural Language Processing. So it should be pretty exciting. So I have experience kind of all over the world. So all over the industry, I mean to say. So I've been in IT, project management, product development, program management, and I also have a nonprofit organization as well that we'll dive into a little bit more. And I've had some sort of SaaS experience in developing some products, launching products as well. So pretty exciting, pretty wide range of things that I've done in the past. So what am I currently doing? So I'm a senior program manager at Google. I'm also the co-founder and executive director of the Maleha Carino Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization here in Chicago. We're looking to increase awareness and research within the pediatric cancer. So if that's something that you're interested and you want to just talk about in the future, by all means, feel free. And then also, I'm a CS adjunct professor here at NEIU. This is my I started last summer, so little over a year, about a year and a half in so far. So pretty excited, and there's a lot more to come. So kind of, what qualifies me to talk about the things that I'm about to talk about here in cryptography and in NEIU in general. So I actually graduated from NEIU and I got my business degree in business administration. That was my undergrad, and then I went back to school and I got my master's in management at the Gies College of Business at the Illinois University of Urbana-Champaign. And I'm also certified PMP, so I've had my years of experience in the world of project management. And I am all things project management in that world. So I've had so much experience within there. Next, here are just some fun facts. I wrote an academic paper, research paper. It talks about the impact of iPhones and productivity. Pretty interesting read. There's a link to it right there. I'm also a very avid reader, so I love reading, but I've lately been into more audibles than reading books just because it helps me with time-wise. And then also I have a rescue cat named Dino. If you attend some of the office hours, you might see him run in the background, or you might hear him, so just a fair warning. If anything that I've said so far kind of interests you, I do have a website at www.omidcindy.com. Um, so definitely check that out, and then feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns. Cool. So let's just jump right into it and let's talk about the syllabus itself. So I know everybody has already looked at the syllabus, but kind of in this format, I just want to talk about it more in detail. We'll kind of go section by section of the syllabus, and I'll add more context to certain areas that I maybe didn't add as much information just because of space-wise and stuff. I didn't want to leave you with a 10-page syllabus paper. I didn't want you to run that fast. So just the very basics. So this is a 3-credit course. We're going to talk all things about cryptography. Previously, this course has been taught in a way of more on the coding side. So there's a little bit of coding in here, but not that much. I'm more so into the real aspect of how cryptography is used in the day-to-day and the reality of it. We'll definitely dive into more of theoretical thinking as well. So we'll talk about Bitcoin, we'll talk about supercomputing, we'll talk about all things cryptography, and I'll be able to kind of mesh what's happening in the real world to what's happening now. Sorry, what's happening in the real world and what's happening that we're learning in the course. So I think it's a pretty cool blend. I've taught this course maybe this is my third time now. And all times I've been able to make some sort of improvements on it. And I think this iteration of it's going to be pretty cool. So definitely excited to see what's ahead for all of us. Some prerequisites: you must have passed a CS 324 or CS 404, minimum of a C. This course is fully online, so I know originally this was modified to be an in-person course, but they've decided to make this fully online. So if you come on campus looking for me, I won't be here except days I'm on campus. But yes, no need to worry. This course is fully online. Some information about me. Again, my name is Omid Adam Cindy. The MS represents the Masters of Science, and the PMP is my project management certification. My office hours is on campus at LWH 3059. I do share the office with another instructor, so sometimes if you're there and you may knock on the door, I may not be there and just the other instructor, so just keep in mind. I do have office hours Fridays from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. Central Time. This is online, and in other ways you can contact me is by appointment. So as you'll see through the D2L, I do have some I think it's called a scheduler, and the scheduler will be able to, you can just click on any time and just kind of set some time for us to talk about anything. So the office hours is there. I'll have a link in D2L of just strictly the 1:30 to 2:30 office hours. But again, feel free by appointment to reach out. Email's right there. And, I think the best way to reach me is via ping. I know a lot of students may be a little weary about kind of sending pings to the professors. As long as it's not like 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm pretty good about it. If you need an immediate answer, I would rather you send me a ping through Google, Gmail. That way you can kind of get an answer pretty quickly. But if it's something that's a little bit more heavier and meatier, I would definitely say send me an email about it. And I'm typically very good about responding. I try to respond to everybody as fast as I can with the time that I have. But things happen. But I'm pretty quick. I'm pretty quick with my response. If you don't get a response within 24 to 48 hours, definitely remind me because I might just be flooded with emails. Cool. Course material. So this is a course book that we're going to be using a lot throughout the course. This book, I've linked it over here. Please take a look at the link. Don't purchase the book. You don't need to purchase it. There's a nice PDF online, so there's nothing you need to worry about. I don't want you to spend any money on the book itself. I think it's also linked within D2L as well. Cool. Here's some major topics that we're going to talk about. First one is obviously cryptography, right? We're going to be talking about cryptography in a cryptography course. Some other things we're going to talk about is kind of key exchange, discrete probabilities. We'll talk about authentication a lot. Another big topic is block ciphers. We'll talk about encryptic algorithms, blockchain. We'll talk about Bitcoin, and then there's some other theoretical stuff that we'll also talk about. So pretty fun. So here's some objectives, right? So when I think about objectives, I think about what by the end of the course, what are some of the things that you'll be able to learn? So here's some of the things that I hope that you take away from the course at the end of it all, right? And that you're somewhat familiar with the basic cryptography and some issues within algorithms. I don't assume that at the end of the course you're going to go out and you're going to be this professional cryptographist or somebody that works within cryptography. I just want to make sure that you understand the basic fundamentals of it and you understand some of the securities that revolve around cryptography and some of the things that we'll talk about here. Now let's dive into the syllabus. So here are some of the other deliverables that are required within this course. So one of the things that I require in all my courses, regardless of what subject I teach, is a LinkedIn profile. So this profile is basically a way for you to help set up your career. And if you don't already have a LinkedIn, then you will need to make a LinkedIn. If you don't know what a LinkedIn is, there's plenty of sources and I have some description here. But when I first started NEIU and I taught my first course, a lot of questions that I got was, hey, professor, how should I be looking for jobs? How should I improve my resume? How should I do X, Y, and Z? And my first question always was, do you have a LinkedIn? And at the time, it was about 9 out of 10 students said no. So because of that, it's a big thing for me. And, as someone in the working world, that I can help develop you develop a LinkedIn profile. I get it. There are some things around LinkedIn being kind of cringeworthy and stuff like that. But I will say that a lot of individuals have found jobs, and I want to say like a huge amount of people have found jobs through LinkedIn, or not even LinkedIn, but for jobs, just to connect with others, and then one thing leads to another, and boom. I think LinkedIn is a very valuable thing. So that's something that's required. I think it's in the second week of the semester. So keep your eye out for that. And then the requirements for the LinkedIn profile, there's a rubric for it. So just make sure you follow the rubric, and then we should all be good. One-on-one meetings. This is another thing that I implement in all my courses, one-on-one meetings. If you've taken me in the past, you've understand how these one-on-ones operate. They're just one-on-one meetings that happen before the 8th week of school. I know it says 6 weeks right here, but it happens by the 8th week. So at the end of the 8th week, I want to make sure that I meet with everybody. And then this one-on-one conversation is strictly just for you. We can talk about the course. We can talk about the material. We can talk about your career progressions or anything that's on top of mind. One-on-ones are a great way for me to understand you and then for you to understand me and kind of bounce ideas off of each other. I've implemented one-on-ones more so because I realized that when I was in undergrad and graduate school that I would submit my, quarter or my course evaluation. And, at that point, I didn't really care because I was like, what is this going to do for me? Why should I give feedback now? So for me, I want to know as much as I can before maybe midway, right? So that's why I say the 8th week. And in this way, if the students or if you're telling me that some of my material is boring, this is a great way for me to pivot. If there's other topics that we should cover that is not on the syllabus that you think would resonate a little bit better, I'm always here to learn and I'm always here to try to continuously improve as I go on. So that's what the time is dedicated to, but also just because, we can talk about anything, careers, whatever, works for you. This can be done both virtually and in person. So during the scheduler, it kind of gives you an option. So just let me know. And if I can make it in person, I'll definitely make that attempt. Great. Next, you'll have about 3 current events discussion board, and you'll have 1 introduction discussion board. So I know some of you have already gone on the discussion board, but this is just a way to introduce yourself to your classmates for me to kind of get to know you and understand where you are and what you've done and kind of how do I tailor what I can do to, the needs of the masses. And the other thing is the discussion board. So there's 3 discussion boards, and these discussion boards about current topics that are happening within the world based on the material that we're learning. So there'll be weeks that we talk about maybe Bitcoin, right? And then there's some articles between the time of 2022 to 2024 that relates to Bitcoin. And then I have the requirements and rubric already set up within D2L. So when the time comes, you'll see what I'm looking for specifically. And this isn't I'm just going to do an assignment, get it over with type thing, right? I definitely want individuals to collaborate, talk about different ideas, bounce ideas off of each other on the discussion boards. And I think it's something that's really important that as you get through your academic career and you get through the career, learning about different things that are happening within the news is very crucial, and kind of being able to talk about it amongst your peers is another thing. So there's 3 of those, and they're all due, and all assignments are due the Sunday night at 11:59. But if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Quizzes. So there are 4 quizzes within this in this course, and I kind of like the word quizzes versus exams. Exams feel a little bit more intimidating, but quizzes is a little less intimidating. But basically what this is that, there are 4 quizzes that we'll have throughout the entire semester. And for each quiz, you're only responsible for knowing what you need to know in between those time frames. So for 4th week, we're going to have a quiz basically from week 1 to 4, just that material. Obviously, as you continue to go on and as the weeks progress, I'm not going to ask you something in week 12's exam, but week 2, right? But some of the ideas and concepts are built up on each other. So with that in mind, I won't ask you specific questions, but there's some things that you'll need to know prior to answer the question from week 12. So just keep that in mind. But I'm very big about materials only being quizzed on during that time frame. So in week 12, you only would need to know things between 9 to 12. And then week 16 is the final. And I think that's going to be a little bit more lighter since the materials during that time is not that heavy. But yes, and then there are 4 of them. Each quiz is about 3 hours long, so I give a ample amount of time needed, right? And you have 2 attempts to do it. I like to always say the first attempt is kind of like your practice attempt, but take it seriously because then you don't have to redo it. Um, so, don't feel very nervous. I definitely want everybody to kind of go and take it and try your best. And if you think you deserve, or if you think that you can do better on the second attempt, go for it. I also take the highest grade. I don't take the average or the median or the second attempt. I think that's too much. So the best score wins regardless of the attempt. Extra credit. So throughout this course, there's going to be guest speakers and then Easter eggs. Guest speakers are pretty self-explanatory. So some you'll see within the syllabus. There are times where we'll have guest speakers and it'll be all online, right? So sometimes I'll pull from my interviews that I've done with experts. Sometimes I'll pull references that I've seen online that are really great. And to earn extra credit, you'll take about a couple paragraphs needed to kind of describe what is going on in the video, what you've learned. There's a rubric based on this. And then we have what is called Easter eggs. So Easter eggs are one of those things that are pretty pretty small in a way of you won't really notice them. So sometimes during my lectures, I'll say something. So an example is that like maybe in a lecture towards the end or wherever, I'll say, hey, stop what you're doing. If you're watching this, send me a meme or whatever it is. And if you send me the meme during that week that the video is happening, then I'll give you extra credit. But if it's from a lecture of like, I don't know, week one, and then you send it to me later on, I won't accept it. It'll have to be during that time frame of the video. So just keep your eye on it. They'll be on some of the quizzes, some of the videos. So just make sure you're just paying attention and watching them. So here is the breakdown and kind of my grading policies that you'll see right after this. But everything I've talked about, here are all the points. Again, the LinkedIn profile, there's a syllabus quiz, there's a one-on-one introductory post. There will be about, I think three current events. I don't know if I said four before, but it might be three. So 3 current events, 4 quizzes, and then extra credit is unknown for right now. But all of it will come down to 600 points. I'm not the type of professor to kind of do weighted averages and do blah, 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 blah. I like for you as the students to really understand how I grade and how you can measure your progress. Because all you need to actually do is just take the points that you've earned and divide it by the points that have been already allocated, right? So take everything that you've earned and divide it by 600 and you'll know the percentage. And then based on the percentage here, you can calculate your grade, right? I'm always big of in the know of how you're doing in a course rather than waiting for midterms or at the end of the semester to know where you sit within the course. And another big thing on my policies is that I make mistakes, right? I have a lot of things going on my mind and I'm, teaching 2 courses this semester. So there's a lot of things that are happening that I might make a mistake, right? And I've definitely made mistakes in the past. So with that being said, you have about 48 hours to basically find my mistake in a grading policy, right? So if you think that I, mark down something that you think that you should have deserved, within 48 hours, of course, let me know, right? But after that, then if you wait about a week or two, then the grade is pretty much cemented after that. But I give you that 48-hour window to contest and, make your point. Also, I'm not in the business of if I review your assignment and I find something else that's wrong, deduct points on that. I'm only going to look at the thing that you're mentioning, just because, it's not fair. So keep that in mind. Some things to know, right? So how do you want to be successful in this course, right? And I definitely say watch the lecture videos, right? You can obviously look at the slides and try to make up your own assumptions based on the slides, but a lot of it comes from watching the lectures and my explanations, right? Sometimes my lecture slides are very vague on purpose so I can talk about it in the lecture itself. Have an open-minded, be open-minded. I think a lot of individuals come into this course thinking that they know cryptography, but I'm just teaching it in a kind of a different light, more theoretical, more fun, more practical. So definitely keep an open mind and think about collaboration, right? So during our discussion boards, during our current events, definitely be honest and just try to learn from each other. But that goes into this academic integrity, right? And I'll talk about it in the next slide, but I try not to give assignments that are just for points, right? I try to have some sort of value of all my assignments. So please take it seriously. Please don't cheat. Please don't, kind of give information off to other individuals from other courses that have taken my class in the past. All my things are usually updated when I talk about quizzes and stuff. So individual that took it last semester will not have the same one-to-one kind of information on quizzes and stuff. Um, and then next is seek feedback, right? And I think this is important in a way of how do you think you can do better in my course, right? And it's not, and it kind of ties to the next point, right? 360 feedback, right? You are fully able to tell me if something that I'm doing doesn't make sense, or if a concept that I'm explaining is going too fast or too slow. I think we should definitely be in this 360 mindset of you provide feedback, I provide feedback, we all provide feedback. And next, special accommodations. If you have any special accommodations, please let me know prior, just so I can help and kind of make things smooth for you. Next, let's talk about the biggest hot topic, generative AI. And this can be Gemini, this can be ChatGPT, this can be any other AI tool. So as a little bit of a kind of in the nose for you, I've worked a lot of my career with an AI, and AI is basically all I basically deal with. So, with that being said, I can tell right away when certain content, when certain writings or certain things are done using AI. So please, I say this for just the sake of everything. Please don't use AI for anything within this course and a way to cheat. Of course, if there are concepts that I'm talking about when I talk about like block ciphers, if the way I explained it didn't make sense to you and you want to learn more, by all means, generative AI is an awesome tool for that. And you are definitely more than welcome to do it. But if you're using it to write your assignments, your discussion boards, helping you take the exam, then we have some problems because there are ways for me to detect it. And I just don't want to be in that position to have that discussion with you. So please just make sure that you keep that integrity, make sure that you don't use it. Any sort of plagiarism is unethical, even if it's unintentional. Just remember that you can't use it for anything in the sense of your assignments wise. And I know in the end I say kind of everything you'll get a 0 for it. But first offense, I might be a little bit more lenient, but if it's a reoccurring thing, then this is definitely something that will escalate. And I just don't want to deal with that. So please use it to learn, but not use it to use your work. And then if you're on campus, Campus Shield is a great app that if you're on campus, it's gonna get cold. I know right now it's super hot, but it's gonna get cold. It's the sunlight is gonna go down. It's gonna be winter. It's gonna be dark at like 4 o'clock. So sometimes you may feel unsafe. So if you're on campus, please use Campus Shield. This is a great app that can help. Basically, if you're feeling unsafe, will alert the local NEIU police, kind of have your location, and then just for safety wise. So please, if you need to use it, definitely use Campus Shield app. I have it on my phone as well. You just never know. Um, just the surrounding areas and stuff. So definitely look into that if that's something that you want. Any questions? I know you can't say anything, but you're watching this, but please, I'm definitely always available. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to help or anything I can do to, just definitely have the discussion going. So, I'm super excited for this semester, and I've been told that I need to have a catchphrase at the end of my video, so I don't have a catchphrase, but let's definitely learn and kind of work together and making improvements. So, all right, guys, take care. Wish you well. See you later.